through PMTCT, as it was called then. We like to call it prevention of virtual transmission. In 2003, when I tested HIV, it was after 2 years of suspecting that I was positive. And I was struggling, arguing with my husband then around going to get tested together. I thought I had good health-seeking behavior, but then those gender issues actually took a predominant role in the decision to actually go. It took me over 2 years to actually decide I would go on my own. And when I went on my own, tested HIV positive, I just thought, oh, okay, now I know, so life goes on, I can, you know. A few weeks later, I realized I was pregnant. And then before I realized I was pregnant, I went for a CD4 count, which was 31. And at the time, that is when we were told that when you are below 200 CD4 count, you've got full-blown AIDS and you are on your way to the grave. So I gave up. But then soon after, I realized I was pregnant. And then seeing that fetus on the scan, you know, changed my whole outlook on life. And also I had a very good employer who actually took me out of, you know, giving up and gave me all the support. And that employer was the director, may his soul rest in peace, that was Kit Goddard, who was the director of gays and lesbians of Zimbabwe. And I got all the support from there. There was no treatment in Zimbabwe then. But the support I got and actually helping me to, you know, to be strong, to link me even with the Ministry of Health, with National AIDS Council, with the center, when Lynn Francis was still there, that I had a whole support system. My brothers and sisters were also supportive. But then we still had a lot of people who were a lot of people around me in the communities it was still so difficult. I had come from a background where I worked in the Ministry of Health. I trained as a healthcare worker, a paramedic, and this was something that was very difficult. That was very difficult for me. So I think some of those things that, communities, that I found that communities are very, very important. And also that the language that we use is very important. And I think it's something that I cannot overemphasize. We all know the journey that we've gone over 30 years that we've had HIV around. I gave birth to my child. They had to wait 18 months to get her tested for HIV. She was negative. But then because of the so many negative messages I was having, because I was under pressure to terminate that pregnancy, and I couldn't. But I couldn't believe that this is a true negative. So I had to wait another 6 months and get her tested again. Today she's in Form 1 and doing well at school. And I think for me, that is a very important thing. But also looking again at what is being taught in schools. What is she getting in school? Yes, I talked to her about HIV. She's always known from the time she started, from the time even before she started to talk, that I was on medication, I was HIV positive, because I didn't want the burden of saying, when do I disclose to her if I realized she was HIV positive? So this is why I started talking to her, even though I was under pressure from a lot of people in the community not to talk to her about my status, because I was overburdening her. But today she's that support system that when I am fatigued about taking my treatment and just said, okay, I've had a long day and I'm just sitting there and my bag is somewhere. She's someone, have you taken your medication? Because now it's just the two of us in the household. If you've taken your medication, you say, and where's your medication? I don't know. And she'll say, no, Mama, I don't want to be an orphan yet, please, please. And she goes to look for my medicine. And what what more support system do you want? But I still also worry about, sometimes she comes to me and says, well, the information we got from school, I think they've got outdated, the teachers got outdated information. That is worrying for me, because I worry what is being taught in school. Because now I'm also worried. She's now an adolescent. I said she's in Form 1. She turned 13 on the 31st of July. She's now an adolescent. And anyone with an adolescent knows the times that you have in the house, the ups and downs. Sometimes it's really down. And how do I protect her? Yes, I did protect her. I did protect her from getting infected when she was born. But now, do I have any control? Why are we still having this conversation? Why do I still worry? And I'm not the only one who's worrying. I know many, many women, many parents actually worry about their children who were born negative, and maybe they were born HIV positive, and they are healthy. But how do we keep them? How do we keep the children healthy? How do we make sure that those things that we also went through when we were adolescents, how do we make sure that this, this kind of thing that has no, I don't know whether any research can actually, or there's any medication to actually control that. How do we make sure that they are safe and protected from I think it's very important that we prevent HIV. And that is one of the, I think it's a basic human right, prevent the spread of HIV. And also that those who are HIV positive do get treatment. What does that mean in terms of, when we talk of aging and HIV? What does that mean about me being turning 52 and having lived with HIV for, I've known for 14 years. But what about, I don't know how long I've actually been HIV, because 14 years is actually when I got tested. So I think those issues actually worry us a lot, and I think those things should be at the forefront. And I think this is where communities really come in, around the language that we use, around the importance of getting communities funded, of speaking together with everyone else who's in the response. Because a lot of times, yes, I'll go to the doctor, to the boy AIDS, forgive me. When I come to you for consultation, what you tell me, I will still go to Angeline to verify. Do you think this is good advice that I got from Chiremba? And that happens a lot. We do. So I think I'm just trying to emphasize how important it is for communities to be taught. But what I worry about is the way treatment literacy in the communities seems to have gone down. We seem to have relaxed when we got ARV treatment on board. And I think the blame for me was mostly to communities, but also not only to communities, to civil society organizations, but also I think we need to talk more to each other and actually what treatment packages, what am I telling people out there in the community? What am I up to date with the research that is coming up? We are also worried about our friends who get convicted of willful transmission, following science and research that has happened in Zimbabwe as well, HPTN 052, which said that when you are virally suppressed, it's highly unlikely that you are so that you transmit HIV to anyone. But also, I still find even a few weeks ago, people are still being convicted and saying, okay, is there any way where I do write an affidavit if I start going out with someone today to say I've disclosed to them before I slept with them? So is their word against mine when things go on down the line? And how does the judge or the magistrate prove that it is me who infected that person. Well, I'm not sure that it's a scientific, and the law that is used was, I think, was crafted before we know what we know. Why are we not talking to the legal, to the legal legislators, legal system, to the judges, to the police, and so forth? Because sometimes, by the time some people are okay, it's now going to the Constitutional Court, so you have a reprieve. But by that time, maybe you've spent some few days in the police cells, and you've been in the newspaper that you've infected someone, and a lot of rights are violated that way. And please, we need to move forward. We need to, we need to do things differently.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.